Good morning, everybody. TGIF, it's Friday. Welcome and welcome back to Bookie Monsters. My name is PK, and every day of the work week, we look at the new releases of this week, and we have made it to Friday. It is October the 20th, and we will be looking at cozy mysteries today. We had started on Monday, and then throughout the week, we looked at different genres: mystery, fantasy, sci-fi, romance, and so forth. And here we are back at Cozy Mysteries because there's always a lot of cozy mysteries each week. So, just a quick update of what I am reading. I am listening to the audio of Divine Rivals and reading the ebook A Gentleman Fallen on Hard Times by Grace Burrows. Very much enjoying both. I was afraid I was in kind of a slumpish kind of thing. But I am not now, so that is always a good feeling. Let us hop into new releases because the time always goes by very fast. I think we left off about here. All Aboard for Murder by Bonnie Hardy, second in the Welcome to Lily Rock Holiday Mystery Series. Says, who knew a 7-foot nutcracker could be a murder weapon? Finding the body of the toy store owner Betty King is the latest in a list of reasons Michael Bellemare feels far from jolly this holiday season. Having secured jobs for 2 local teens at the store, obligation leads Michael to help uncover the killer and clear both their names. Unfortunately, the mounting evidence seems to point to one of the teens. Partnering with Detective Janice Jetz, Michael listens in as Janice interviews residents and learns more about the hold Betty King had over Lily Rock. Possible mob ties, a runaway dog, a broke Santa, and Mrs. Claus. It's all pointing to something, but what? Can Michael and Janice find the killer before Santa climbs into his sleigh, or will one of the teens be found guilty, adding to Michael's bah humbug mood? Interesting that it is a male protagonist. You don't see that a whole lot in the cozy mystery genre. Hot Springs Homicide by Nikki Haverstock. Fourth in the Purgatory Falls mysteries. This is just under 200 pages. Having recently decided to make Purgatory Falls her home, Brooke dives into helping with the annual Founders Week events. The mermaid, an occasional amateur sleuth, is tasked with helping tourist students mermaid and history enthusiasts collect stamps for a special memento, but quickly gets swept into the search for a stolen bracelet, which leads to the discovery of a dead body. Meanwhile, a decades-old hunt for treasure foretold to be discovered during Founders Week has turned dangerous in a way that hits close to home for Brooke. Her best friend Twyla's home, a large tree that is part of the tree nymph herself, is attacked by treasure hunters. Rather than sit around and hope, Brooke decides to end the frenzy before anyone else is hurt by finding the treasure herself. But Brooke's own history might be wrapped up in the history of the town, and searching for the treasure puts her in more danger than she has ever been in before. So, sounds I was not familiar with the series. It sounds a little bit more fantasy-ish than we typically run into. In the Wick of Time by Valona Jones. I might be saying that wrong. This is second in the Magic Candle Shop mystery series. Tabby Winslow will help her twin sister Sage with anything and everything, and that includes putting out the flames of suspicion when Sage's boss is found murdered in this magical mystery. December in Savannah, Georgia is a sight to behold. With all the festivities, including the traditional riverfront luminary display during the boat parade, twin sisters Tabby and Sage Winslow are busier than ever setting up for the big celebration. But that isn't the only thing on the sisters' minds. Both Sage and her fellow employee, Mary Nicole, are vying for the sought-after assistant manager job at the plant nursery. But when Lauren Lee, their boss, is found dead and Sage becomes The police's favorite suspect, both Winslow girls know that they'll need more than a flicker of magic and their sisterhood to solve the murder and clear Sage's name. Soon, Tabby realizes that this is just one of the many problems they have. If being a suspect for murder wasn't enough, there are more magical problems that they have to fix. Sage's boyfriend is having a paranormal experience of his own he can't control. There's an energy vampire searching for his supposedly lost cousin. Her cat suddenly dislikes her, and oh, every time Tabby hiccups, she turns completely invisible. I hate that. The suspect list grows with each day, and it seems everyone has a reason or a connection to Lauren Lee. Tabby and Sage are burning the candle at both ends, but will it be enough to keep their friends safe and find this killer, or will they be burned by their efforts? Okay. Pause to Remember by Sophie Kelly. 15th in series. Librarian Kathleen Paulson and her enchanted felines get involved in a cold case that is putting people in very hot water in the newest installment in this series. When a water leak repair results in a body being found behind the walls of the store run by the artist co-op that Kathleen's friend Maggie is part of, everyone is completely mystified as to whose body it is and who hid it there. But as the dust settles, her boyfriend, Detective Marcus Gordon, begins to suspect the body could belong to a young woman who disappeared more than 30 years ago. When a friend with a connection to the young woman asks Kathleen to look into the circumstances around the disappearance, she and her cats, who have special feline talent for catching felons, find themselves digging up secrets that at least one person in Mayville Heights would much prefer stay buried. Keo doesn't do stuff like that. Of course, he's a dog. Dogs don't care. Murder in the Villa. This is a novella, 81 pages. Look at the cover. We're going to move on. This is by Susan Kiernan Lewis, related to the Maggie Newberry Mystery Series. Suitably spooky for the next week and a half that we are in spooky season. Speaking of seasonal, Monster Mash Murder. By Leslie Langtry. 28th in the Mary Raff Mysteries. I will say that is a very busy cover. A little too busy. Less is more. What's scarier than ex-CIA agent Mary Raff's Girl Scout troop? How about the spookiest Halloween haunted house ever? And the girls have found the perfect place to hold it, a disturbingly dilapidated Victorian with something in the basement that gives off some serious "we're all gonna die" vibes. Tween Mayor Ava bought the house with city funds, which has drawn the ire of grumpy city inspector Gilbert Moody, who also happens to be the only one in town who is not afraid of the most terrifying Girl Scout in Mary's troop, the infamous Betty. This cranky civil servant has the paperwork to condemn any building, and he's not afraid to use it. Mary's got a horrifyingly full plate this fall from her Chechen brother-in-law moving in with her after their pregnant wives kicked them out, to the troop illegally adopting a sullen turkey vulture named Reggie. And now her favorite ice cream parlor, Sugar Lips' feeling lucky house of delights, has been condemned. Moody would be feeling her wrath if he hadn't been murdered by zombies inside the haunted house. Following a cryptic series of confusing clues and dodging a hail of bullets, Mary needs to find the killer fast if she's going to save this Halloween. That also sounds like very busy, not only a busy cover, but busy plotting. Well, maybe you want something like that. You don't know it's out there till you look. The Salon and Spa Scandal by Kate Martin. I'm not seeing that there is a Kindle version of this. That's interesting. Tabitha Green loves her new life. Working at her uncle's bookstore, hanging with her friends, cuddling with her dog Houdini. when he allows it. Everything would be perfect if only she could control her magic. But her bad luck with spells plagues her, setting off random sparks and triggering too many accidents. Her friends support her in her attempts to get it all under control, but her other neighbors around the square display much less patience with having an actual jinx around, especially as they plan the biggest party of the year. When Tabitha's bitterest nemesis turns up dead, no one thinks she did it, at least not intentionally. But not even Tabitha is sure she didn't cause it by mistake. The only way to be sure? She and her friends have to get to the bottom of what really happened the night of the party, even if it means that Tabitha's worst fears come true. A chapter on murder by Sue Minnick's third in the bookstore mystery series. I loved writing murder mysteries until I was thrust into the center of one. It's Christmas in Riddleton, and crime novelist turned amateur sleuth Jen is in desperate need of a cozy festive season running the town's local bookstore. But between trying to drum up business for ravenous readers and attempting to finish her latest novel, Jen is totally run off her feet. Matters get worse, however, when a man's body is found outside the bookstore, along with a scrap of paper in his pocket with none other than Jen's address on it. To solve the murder and clear her own name, Jen must once again become Riddleton's best detective. The stakes have never been higher, and the pressure is on. But with the help of her best friend Brittany and trusty dog Savannah, can Jen catch the killer, finish her novel, and save ravenous readers before time runs out? Mystified in Music City by Kristen Painter. Third in series, the Frost and Crow series. Jane Frost and husband Sinclair Crow are off on another adventure, this time to Nashville, aka Music City, to pay a royal visit to one of the Santa's Workshop's toy stores. Once that's done, they'll have a little time to sightsee and play tourist, which they do. Until something rather peculiar happens in the Country Music Hall of Fame that leaves Sinclair feeling all sugar. Suddenly, they have a new mystery to solve, and time is ticking for Sinclair. Even a necromancer can only take so much. Can Jane and Sinclair get to the bottom of things before it's too late? We got a whole lot of magic going on in these books. Murder on the Airwaves by Carmen Radke, under 200 pages. Part of the Mystery Book Nook shared world, 6 books in the series. Show Business Can Be Murder. It's also Kindle Unlimited. All Eve Holdsworth wants is quality time with her dad, his wife, and their cat, and to enjoy an old-fashioned Halloween in the quaint small town of Hemlock Grove in the Pacific Northwest. After years of estrangement and a heart attack on her dad's side, they have a lot of catching up to do. But when the community radio host flings public insults at town luminaries and Bill Holdsworth stumbles upon a dead body, Eve's dad becomes the main suspect. To her, it's clear that behind the facade of golf, goodwill, crafts, and neighborliness lurks something sinister. With her dad's fate at stake, Eve decides to put on her own show. But can she catch the killer before he drops the mic on her forever? Murder on the Airwaves is another fun-filled adventure. Blah, blah, blah. Interesting color choices for the cover there. Blame Your Hexes. Excuse me, by Claire Robbins. This is just over 100 pages, so it's a novella. Third in the Shadow Vale Witches series. It's Kindle Unlimited. Welcome to Shadow Vale, where the locals bite, monsters are real, and the witches play fast and loose with the rules. It's National Hex Day in forget-me towns around the country. For 12 hours, all fines for magical hex exposure are waived. There are stringent rules in place, of course, to protect the innocent and the not so innocent. It's all fun and games until the head of a prominent vampire family is staked through the heart. When Shadowvale's very own mayor, Grayson Bourne, comes under fire for the deadly incident, Kristen's not about to let him burn. She has Reaper access to the expired vampire, and she's not afraid to use it. Okay, she's a little afraid, but what's a little fear when it comes to helping out a friend? I don't know about you guys, but people started Halloween so early this year, like August. I'm kind of Halloween spooky seasoned out. A Nutcracker Nightmare by Christina Romero, second in the Killer Chocolate Mysteries. Didn't we look? We already looked at this one. We did look at this one on Tuesday. Tangled Waters by Jenna St. James, about 150 pages, and also by Stephanie Damore. First in the Enchanted Waters mystery, a midlife sea witch used to working alone, a handsome demigod with a penchant for trouble, an island full of secrets as deep as the ocean. This looks like it's a crossover from another series. Detective Isla Ciartis is new. Did we do this one? Because that name sounds really familiar to me. Is new to Neptune Oasis, but she isn't new to solving crimes. The PADA detective knows trouble when she sees it, and she sees it in the eyes of treasure hunter and demigod Jace Solari. He and his glow-in-the-dark, wisecracking dragon reek of mischief and mayhem. But when a prominent lawyer meets a magical end in the Bermuda Triangle, Isla finds herself partnering with Jace to solve the case. Between tracking down suspects, verifying alibis, and going on spell shroud stakeouts, the case slowly starts to come together. That is, until a new threat emerges. With each twist and turn, Isla and Jace race against island time to unravel the enchanted evidence that will unveil the truth behind the lawyer's demise. Can the crime-solving duo, with Glo's help of course, close the case before the Bermuda Triangle's enchantments swallow them whole? Join PADA's newest Cursed Relics team as they explore the depths of midlife magic in this paranormal, cozy mystery that will keep you guessing until the very end. Aight. Christmas Lights and Cat Fights by Heather Weidner. Book 3 of the Jules Keen Glamping Mystery. Christmas has come to Fern Valley, and the town's decked out with enough glitter and sparkle for a month's worth of celebrations, each more over the top than the previous one. The idyllic setting, filled with laughter, carols, and sweet treats, is shattered, along with some of the decorations, when the current wife and the ex-wife of a big cat showman have a knockdown, drag-out fight in the center of town. Jules Keen, owner of the Fern Valley Glamping Resort, tries to keep peace among her guests and with the town council, but it turns into a catastrophe when Tabby Morris winds up dead in one of her ex-husband's tiger cages. And if the murder wasn't enough, Jules discovers that some of the big cats are missing, but the owner and his family insist that nothing is wrong. Curiosity gets the best of her, and she has to solve the murder and figure out if the owner of Cal's Cats is pussyfooting around, or whether it's something more sinister before it ruins the holiday season and her business. Murder by the Seashore by Samara Yu. Did we also look at this one on Tuesday? Yeah, I think we did. Yep, we did. Jingle Bell Justice by Nancy Bazille. Christmas chaos is an all-time high for Robin Pierce, having moved back to the small town of River Sutton bought a shabby farmhouse, started a new business, and a new relationship with handsome Sheriff Chris Payne. Living in a money pit isn't a great idea. She's broke and bills are coming due. With no income and no prospects, Robin agrees to attend her sister Jen's Christmas party to welcome socialite guests to her new bed and breakfast, Cottage, thinking she can drum up leads. But when a dead body is discovered at the B&B the next morning, her sister's sugar plum dreams of becoming a travel destination turns into a lump of coal. Robin is reluctant to meddle in the investigation and ruin her relationship with the sheriff until Chris arrests Jen's wife for the murder. Robin must act fast to discover the real killer and prove her sister in law's innocence. With an old nemesis making a reappearance and her relationship with the sheriff at stake, will Robin be able to find the killer before it's too late? You look at it, all you're seeing is her holding this cup of something hot. It's kind of different. The house looks like a frosted cake. Not able to click on this other than to the. Yep, nope, not clickable. Ah, I am familiar with this series. Terror in Topaz by A.M. Stewart. Let's double check. Yep, it did come up. All right. This is a historical mystery, fourth in the Harriet Gordon mysteries. The chance to pursue a new opportunity takes Harriet and her brother Julian to Kuala Lumpur, but death is waiting. Singapore, 1910. Harriet Gordon has been dismissed from the job she loved and finds herself cast adrift. When her brother receives an invitation to visit a prestigious school in Kuala Lumpur, she and Julian decide to leave Singapore behind for a few days, but their pleasant visit takes a dark turn when a visitor to the school is shot dead on the front steps of the headmaster's bungalow. After being suspended from the Straits Settlements Police, Inspector Robert Curran has disappeared on a personal quest to find a missing girl. But his suspension is not all it appears, and he receives secretive orders to investigate the mysterious Topaz Club, which seems to be at the center of high-level corruption within the colonial government of Malaya. The uninvestigated death of a woman, which links to the Topaz Club, brings Harriet and Curran together in a determination to shut down the notorious establishment for good. Very cool. Well, that is all we have time for today, this week. I thank you very much for stopping by or watching it in replay, checking it out. Nobody's doing this out there on the interwebs. Don't know if that's because nobody's interested, but I am interested. I always want to know what the new books are, and I don't necessarily get to see or take the time to see what is out there. So I'm always on the lookout for new authors, new books, etc., etc. And I read a lot of genres, so we do that during the week. So next week we'll be here Monday morning at 6 a.m., 8 a.m. Eastern, and we'll start again with Cozy Mysteries coming out next week. And then Tuesday will be regular mysteries, Wednesday romance, Thursday fantasy sci-fi, and then Friday literary fiction or cozy mysteries, whatever I feel like doing. Sprints, no sprints tonight, but I will be doing sprints tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and that'll be going for 5 hours. So bring your own book, bring a project, listen to it while you're doing housework, whatever you want to do. If you want to take a nap, listen to the nice ambient sounds, that's perfectly okay too. I hope you guys have a very good Friday and a good weekend. Take care of yourselves, read good books. And if you're not reading a book that you're liking, it's okay to set it down. You don't get good person points for enduring something you're not liking. Reading is supposed to be fun. So I give you permission. Set the book down. Find something you do like to read. It's okay. Be safe. Thank you so much. Love you guys. God bless.